Hey guys, it's Mario here, and in this video I'm gonna tackle one of the most important topics that I'm ever gonna make a video on, and that is how do you find balance in your life? So how do you balance all these areas of your life? Which one do you prioritize to focus on to improve yourself as a person, as a human being? And you watching this video, you're most likely passionate about self-improvement. You have that healthy sense of urgency that is pushing you to become the best version of yourself, and you want to master yourself, you want to master all these areas of your life. And you often hear about 4 areas, and I kind of like to make that distinction, and there are about 4 areas if you want to generally categorize what you can work on. First one would be, let's say, spirituality, your higher purpose, your philosophy, your understanding of the world, of the universe. So that would be area number one. Area number two would be your business skills, your way you can provide value to the world and get value in return as well. So that's kind of in the form of monetary value or some other type of value. And then you have your health. That's basically your physical and your mental health. And then you have the number four, which is your social skills, your relationships with people, loved ones, and with the world in general. As a social creature, you're part of a bigger tribe. So these would be the 4 areas of your life. And often I get a question coming from guys who are on the journey of self-improvement. They're not sure which one should they prioritize first, right? They're like, okay, I'm focused so much on my fitness, I don't know how to balance that with other areas of my life. So let's say you want to go out and you want to improve your social skills, but then you feel like you're lagging behind in your business, in your fitness, you're lagging behind in your higher purpose stuff. I mean, that's normal, and that's a situation that any single person who's been on a journey of self-improvement will find yourself in. And there's a couple of really, really important lessons here that I've learned along the way that I believe that will help you guys kind of get a better understanding, and you can practically apply some of this stuff. So starting from scratch, a couple of years ago, I had to analyze which areas of my life were really in like a critical phase. So I'm going to use an analogy from video games here. Let's say level 0, right? That's the starting point. That's the zero ground, right? And then coming from there, you can go to, let's say, level 10, which is mastery or near mastery in any one of these areas of your life. So the first step would be basically to analyze and see how far you've gone in each one of these areas. So for me, I was, let's say my health was 2 out of 10. My business was around 2 out of 10. My spirituality, my understanding, my philosophy of the world was actually a little bit higher. So I would say like about 3 or 4 out of 10, because I was reading some books. I was kind of aware of like the general philosophy of self-improvement, and then there's social skills, relationships, all that. That was as well for me about 1 out of 10, right? So then looking at that situation, I was like, which one can I leverage the most? And then I figured, well, look, if I don't have my health, I can't leverage my time and energy because I don't have any more energy, right? Because after work, I'd come back home and I just barely get enough energy to do my workout, or even wasn't even going to the gym for a while. I was just feeling like crap. And I was thinking, well, first thing, I want to master this health area of my life. I want to invest more time into that so I can get more energy, so I can focus on my business. And then when I focus on my business, I'll have enough finance, I'll have enough security so I can actually travel, move around the world, meet new people, get into specific venues where you can actually meet people. Because if you're broke, I mean, if you don't have any finance, if you don't have freedom, if you're mainly trapped and if you can't move around, then your social skills can't necessarily develop to a very high level. So that's kind of my starting point. Let's say 50% of my time was invested into health, really mastering my health, getting proper nutrition, getting proper sleep, investing massive amount of time into that. So then I could leverage that and improve my business and work on multiple projects until I kind of broke even, so I can actually have enough finance to travel around and also to access different venues, to get more time, because the more finance you have, the more time you have left, which is something that is a really big idea here, is that you need time. And then I could have focused on my social skills, and that's kind of how my progression went. This is simply what I did. This is not something that everybody should do. So you should be very real with yourself and look at that scale. Okay, which one of my areas am I really good at? Maybe your social skills right now watching this video are 8 out of 10, and maybe your health is 2 out of 10, right? So it's clear which one you should focus on. Maybe your business is like, I don't know, 5 out of 10. You have a stable job, you have a lot of savings, and then your social skills are really poor and your health is really poor, then you know which ones you should focus on. And that's really about being real with yourself. And there's one important component to understand here is that there's a law of diminishing returns on these quote unquote levels that I mentioned. So going from a level of, let's say, 8 to 10 in health, you would have to invest a lot more time than going from 0 to 8, right? So becoming a master in the gym, really understanding the biomechanics and every single thing that comes after, like in the human metabolism, nutrition, how it affects you. I mean, these things will take a lot of more time than actually just getting the basics down and getting decent results and having a good looking body and having enough energy to work on other areas of your life, right? So if your health currently, let's say, is 8 out of 10, and if you don't plan to actually be a coach or coach other people or be a master at it or just really pursue some kind of world-class competition or something, then you most likely be able to maintain that level of like 8 out of 10 while focusing primarily on social skills, on business, on your spirituality, your higher purpose stuff. And that's kind of how I went about it. When I was, let's say, for the first year, I really had my health down. I nailed it down. I was in pretty good shape. I had a six-pack. I was pretty lean, full of energy, full of like that desire to improve myself. And I had that on maintenance. Then in the gym, I was just going to the gym. I wasn't really focused so much on progressing too fast or really pushing myself so hard, but I managed to maintain and make a little bit of gains while other areas of my life completely skyrocketed. And one area of my life that really skyrocketed was social skill, because I was really focused massively on that. And I did that for a whole year until I really got good at it. And then after a while, I could focus more on business, because my business was kind of in the back burner there while I was focusing on my health and on my social skills, right? I didn't have a business. I was basically just doing some stuff and making money, like a little bit, right? Just enough to have enough freedom to work on my health and on my social skills. And then I switched a little bit, and now I'm mainly focused on really growing and coaching a lot of clients and growing as a person through my business and providing value to the world and finding my own meaning into that. And that's kind of what I'm focused on right now, plus my health. And that's something I want to really increase my level of understanding. And that's why I'm reading a lot of these studies, doing all the research, making videos for you guys. I mean, coaching guys as well, which is teaching me how to become a better coach and how the human body works in a variety of different ways, how the individual response is different. And that's kind of what I had to choose. But the important thing to understand is that for me to, let's say, go back and improve my social skills, let's say from 8 to 9, I would have to put a lot of these other things on a pause, and I would have to invest a massive amount of time in that to get that momentum. And then that momentum will allow me to get some epiphanies and then to break through and really to get to the next level. Because as I said, it's really about diminishing returns, and to get from an 8 to a 9 will take a massive amount of time and effort, and some other things will have to be sacrificed. And that's something I think a lot of guys aren't willing to accept, is that you actually have to sacrifice something to gain another thing, which is just simply the way it is, right? You have your 24 hours. I mean, if you've ever been immersed into a specific area of your life, like I am currently in health and fitness, there's no way I could do something like else. Like there's no way. I don't have like zero time for it. Like my time right now is mainly spent on health and fitness, like 80% of my time. So I don't really have that luxury of even going outside of that immersion to work on something else. That's just simply the way it is, right? And you have to dedicate yourself until you make a breakthrough. And then if I do decide, hey, I'm perfectly fine here, I might want to go back and check out some other things. I want to work on spirituality. I want to invest more time into that. Then I might take some time. Hey, I'm pretty happy with my business. I have enough coaching clients. I might have just say, hey, I'm going to limit myself only to work with like 30, 40 people. And then I'm going to focus a little bit more time on growing spiritually and investing in my philosophy, right? So it's really about finding that balance that you're happy with and having that understanding that there's always sacrifice to be made. There's always a price for everything. And then you guys saw my video basically where I said that you have to be willing to pay the price. So the price for increasing your quote unquote level from 9 to 10 is a massive amount of time and effort, and also that requires momentum. So you can't just snap your fingers and just switch from one to another, because you're not immersed, and you're going from a period of to go from a period of immersion to a period of maintenance is easy, but going from maintenance in one area of your life to immersion will take months and months, right? So it's really about finding that balance and being real with yourself through that matrix of 4 years of your life, and having that understanding where you're at, right? And there's a few hacks. I mean, there's a couple of things you can do. Essentially, how you can elevate your level very, very fast is get a coach. So in fitness and health, if you get a coach, you're just can skip a level very easily, because you're going to get all the lessons, epiphanies, and all the pushes and all the feedback that you need to progress fast. Same in social skills, same in business skills, and in all the other skills, is that having a mentor or a coach will help you elevate yourself to the next level a lot faster. So that's kind of a hack that saves you time, and that's the only shortcut that I would personally endorse, that I would say that really helped me along the way, is really having those mentors and having those guys who helped me along the way. And that's kind of what I do currently as an online coach. I do help guys kind of skip those levels faster, while they might need more time to still work on their social skills or on their business skills. So that's kind of what this really is about. It's really about understanding yourself, and to find that balance that you're happy with. It's really about being real with yourself. So when you're real with yourself, hey, I'm not where I want to be, but I know that this has to be on maintenance for a while until I handle this thing. And having a big imbalance between any one of your areas of your life will actually make you really quote unquote an incomplete person, in a sense that you're not going to be happy with yourself. So I see this happen all the time, because some people will take one area of your life, really go to the extreme, and completely neglect some other area of your life, and then that has consequences. If you don't work on your health at all, it's very, very unlikely that you're going to be able to excel in business, or even spirituality, or even social skills, right? Because eventually that will catch up. Maybe not immediately, but let's say in a course of 5 to 10 years, it will catch up, that neglecting of your health, where you don't pay the price now, but then you will pay a much, much greater price in the long run. Same thing goes for your business. And if you put that on hold, if you don't work in any sort of understanding to manage your finances better, you're gonna pay the price for that in 2 decades. Very, very simple. So you always have a price to pay. So now the question is, whether you want to pay it now, or do you want to pay it in the future? So I hope you guys resonated with a couple of ideas that I shared with you here in this video. This is a big, big topic that I was very, very passionate about. Actually, every single one of my live speeches, I was asked this question. I went into the matrix and helped guys really understand, to find their position with these 4 years of life, to kind of position yourself, and then you can take it from there to the next level. And you actually have to commit and make that decision. Which one of these will you immerse yourself in? Which one you're going to put on maintenance? Which one you're already happy with a little bit? And then make a decision on that. And that is what I would suggest for you as well. Be a man, make a decision, commit, and crush it. So that will be all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below how you resonate with this. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button right in the face to support the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.